Okay, as we enter a whole new week in trade, let's take a look at what the global handover over the weekend and the last week says. Now let's begin with the United States. On Friday, we saw the Dow up a whopping 160 points plus. Futures were also up to the extent of around 150, 160 points. What's encouraging to know is that futures have kept their ground. So as of this morning when I was looking at it, futures were still up around 140, 150 points. So that gives the SGX Nifty over here some much needed fuel in order to open positively. Now, leaving all this futures action aside and how our market's going to open, Wall Street and the Dow specifically posted its best August in more than 30 years. The S&P also has been performing really well, up 7.2% month to date for its best gain since August 1984. The Dow has been up 8% this month. That's August I'm talking about. Let's remember it's also erased all 2020 losses on Friday and now has a year-to-date gain of around 0.4%. And this has been the best August for the Dow in 36 years. So US handover, to sum it up in one line, very strong, should be propelling our markets higher this morning. Now let's go down to Asia. Very exciting information. 5 Japanese companies, Itochu, Marubeni, Mitsui, Sumitomo, and Mitsubishi. Buffett has bought into all these companies. He's bought more than a 5% stake in each of these companies. So that's keeping it fairly afloat. The Nikkei was up 1.34%. The Topix was up 1.3%. The Kospi was up 1%. ASX 200 is the only area in Asia which is acting a bit muted. So Australia a bit muted. But overall the index was definitely higher, the MSCI. So Asia definitely taking strong cues from the US. And those markets are all up this morning ahead of us. Europe will open later on in the day. There's no futures information from there, but on Friday they closed slightly lower. Japan's Abe resigned, as well as the US Fed policy shift. So that spooked a few investors. They were down around 0.4%, but they should as well rebound today once markets open. Now, oil and gold. Oil prices were supposed to go higher because a hurricane was supposed to pass through Louisiana and Texas, which is a key oil producing region. Now, what we've learned is, positively, the hurricane has passed through without causing any widespread damage. Oil companies were beginning to restart operations. Brent crude futures for October, which were set to expire on Friday, were down just 5 cents to $45 a barrel, and WTI were down 0.2% to $43 per barrel. So they're holding their ground, and it's been a pretty good 5-6 weeks for oil. Now, gold jumped on Friday. We saw it retreating from 2080 to 1960 to 1920. Friday, a sharp pullback, 2% rise for spot gold, 1964 per ounce, taking the gains for last week alone to more than 1%. And then this is post on Thursday, where prices had fallen 2.2% after the US Treasury yields gained on the Powell announcement. So oil and gold also holding their ground quite firmly. And low interest rate regime now signaled off by the Fed. Let's see how the equity markets perform in the months to come.